Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear.
I've read enough about APH and know enough of its history that I mean, it's one of Kentucky's older institutions and one of its most productive institutions in terms of the population it serves. When I think back to 150 years ago, in 1858, when APH began, and I remember reading that I think it took 6 years before the first book was actually published, because a little thing called the Civil War intervened and took everybody's attention for a while. But I think it was in 1866 when your first book was published, and fittingly it was a children's book, as I recall. And now for all these many years, the kinds of services that you all have provided for the blind and visually impaired are second to none. And to have this located in Kentucky is something special that all Kentuckians take pride in, and I particularly as governor take pride in.
U.S. Congressman John Yarmouth, Kentucky's 3rd District.
Mr. Speaker, 150 years ago, the American Printing House for the Blind opened its doors in my home district of Louisville, Kentucky, to make educational materials accessible to blind students. That day in 1858 stands as a milestone, not just for the education of the vision impaired, but for the improved education of our community as a whole and the history of learning in the United States of America. APH has developed tools that help people with low vision learn to utilize the limited vision they have more efficiently, and new technologies are delivering reading materials electronically. The technology and treatment are impressive, but here's what stands out. In the 1880s, a child born blind had no future. Losing one's sight ended independence and ambition. Today, that's not the case. Sight is no longer a prerequisite to leading a productive, independent, fulfilling life, and that is thanks in large part to APH. For tens of thousands of men and women and children without sight, APH has provided the keys to live, learn, and thrive. People who are blind now work in our communities, children who are blind pursue the same dreams as children with sight, and mothers who are blind read stories to their kids before putting them to bed.
U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell, Kentucky.
In 1879, the federal government designated APH the official source of learning materials for blind students across the nation, and the facility has continued to receive federal support since then. Thanks to that support, sales, and donations as well, APH is able to create some remarkable products that have changed the lives of many blind and visually impaired Americans. Before the American Printing House for the Blind existed to create all of these wonderful products, it was widely assumed that the blind and visually impaired just weren't capable of learning as much as everyone else. Today, of course, we know that's completely untrue, and I want to share with my colleagues a letter APH received that illustrates the point very well. A young 4th grade girl in Nebraska named Ruthie was so grateful for a computer software program called MathFlash, developed at APH, that she wrote the facility to thank them, and this is what she had to say. She said, "I used to hate math because everyone else was smarter than me. MathFlash makes it easy and fun because it has adding and subtracting games that help me remember. I can practice whatever I want with no help from my teacher or my mom. I could even be a math teacher, maybe." Madam President, when you realize that most teachers or parents would be ecstatic to see such a passion for learning in any student, whether sighted or visually impaired, you begin to see the miracle that the American Printing House for the Blind has made possible. They have opened up a world of knowledge and information to millions of Americans.